First of all, I would like to apologize for all of the fan noise in my previous videos. I was doing some editing today and I didn't realize how loud it was, so fans will not be running. I will suffer in heat. It is fine for the audio quality and for the videos. It's for the cause. But today we did get some parts in for the 4G63. I'm still waiting on the block and the crank. Machine Shop did say that everything looks good for standard sizes, so I don't have to upsize, I don't have to do anything oversizing like that, so that is good. But since I'm still waiting on my block to get back, I did go ahead and order all of the parts since I did get the okay for it. I'm just waiting for them to finish it. So at least I have that. All of my parts came in for the most part. I think I'm only missing just a couple little stupid things here, mainly for like the fuel system, since I didn't realize I needed all the stuff that I need for it. But yeah, once I get all that in, then I can get everything assembled. I am planning on throwing the seats in probably today or tomorrow. And yeah, let's kind of go over some of the parts I got. Start things off easy. All of this is SAE 30 break-in oil from Penoil in grade. This is the throttle body gasket. I have a bolt for the lower ball joint here. This is fuel hose I used to fix my fuel pump. These are the main and rod bearings. I have thrust bearings, bearings for the balance shaft, O-rings for the injectors, transfer case seal, and then just some other little bits here and there, and also all the piston rings and whatnot. So this thing is just about ready to go back together once I can finally get the block in. I have the back seat out and I popped off both sides of the tank covers and the crossover sending unit going over to the main fuel pump hanger assembly. It's bad. I'll kind of go over what I found. So this is the passenger side one after I cleaned it up. This is a fuel filter off of it. These are literally just falling into the housing here. So these are 100% useless. Fortunately, I accidentally ordered that piece already, so that is on the way. As far as this guy goes, my sock on this side for my Walboro is completely just coming apart. So I have a new one of these on the way. It was $10, not a big deal. And then these little hoses here are totally useless. I don't know how long these have been collapsed for. I don't know if it was just while it was sitting or if they were collapsed beforehand, but I guarantee if those were beforehand, this was doing nothing. Those are just shut up under like vacuum force of pulling fuel over from this side. So those would be totally useless. So I'm curious how much was actually getting back to the tank from the return line on the fuel rail and how much was getting over to it from here if those were that bad. As far as the tank goes, it's not too terrible. Like this one looks pretty gross, which is why I'm wondering if it never actually got anything. Sides are a little crusty. This side isn't as bad. This side's gross, yes, but not like disgusting. So I'm really thinking that half of the gas tank over here wasn't really doing much. I'm thinking everything was basically just being ran out of here. So yeah, kind of a bummer. I got more stuff I have to order for it. Can't just get everything assembled today, which I hate leaving it open. But we're gonna go down now. We're gonna go get a fuel transfer pump so I can take everything out of here, get it all cleaned up, and then refill it with good gas once I'm ready. So this is the fuel pump assembly. I just want to get like some of that gunk cleaned off there, and then I have the brand new filter. Don't know where I put it, probably inside the car still. I want to get this gasket surface cleaned up just a little bit as well, since there is still whatever that crusty garbage is underneath there. Once this guy's cleaned up, then we are good to go ahead and reinstall it. I'm going to put the plate back on, and then it's onto the seats. But first I want to get this 5 gallons worth of 91 put into the tank. Alright, so this is the assembly, all cleaned up as best I could get it. Brand new filter on here. This is the part number for the filter if you need it. I don't know why it says 2, but that should be it. Yep, so that's all on there. This is ready to go. This is the nicest part about what I'm doing here. Look at this. The gas is actually clear. Before it looked like this. It's hard to see since it's red, but you can definitely tell that rusty color is not just a bucket. That is the color of the fuel. Check it out. That is all back together. This guy is kind of difficult to get back on, but not too bad. As far as the torque spec for these, I just went hand tight plus a little extra, kind of like doing spark plugs. I don't really know what the actual spec is, and I didn't really, quite honestly, bother to look it up. Plugs in here, so this should all be good to go. I'm gonna get that plate thrown on here, and then we are on to the seats. For removing the seats, looks like I just have to remove this bracket, and then the same bracket on the crusty Bride. It does look like I'm gonna have to pull the center console, which is a task, I guess, but not terrible. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull off this guy because I do have a new badge on the way, and this one is horribly, horribly faded, as you can see. As far as difficulty goes on this, I'm kind of curious since I've never done aftermarket seats before like this. I've always just done OEM plus seats. But yeah, see how it goes. I'm gonna miss this old crusty bride. Not really. Seats I got are way better, but last look at this. Center console's out, super easy to take out. It has 2 Phillips screws in the back there, and then there are just some little straight down clips there, super easy to pull out. Bracket already came out. I guess it's 2 studs in the front, 2 bolts in the rear. And yeah, I'm just get this crusty seat out and get everything swapped over. Seats out. I am gonna run inside and grab my new seats and yeah, get all the brackets and everything swapped out. Bring a folding table in here just because this guy's gonna be kind of hard to work on, so I'd rather just have a better table to work with a little bit more space and put something down so I don't damage the new seats, because that would be most unfortunate. I have the new seats here. The set of seats that the Evo 9 is going to be getting are Braum Elite V2s. This is a brand new set I ordered from MA Performance. They were like, I think $750, something like that. They are extremely nice, and the nice thing is about buying new seats is they are yours. They're brand new. You don't have to worry about any like farts or anything being in here. You don't have to worry about them smelling funky, being smoked in. They are all yours. They are a clean slate. And they are, in my opinion, the perfect seats for these if you're like me and you don't have the original Evo 9 MR seats. So, on to the fun part is going to be getting those brackets onto these sliders, onto these seats, not in that order. All right, so these seats are mostly assembled. For doing this, you're gonna wanna get into the little like side bag that has your extra hardware in it. Once you get in there, it will also have these longer Allen head bolts because these shorter ones are in there. I'm using the long ones for this just because there's not that much room with the threads of this bolt if you have to use a spacer like I do on here. So these are the spacers that come with it. Spacer's gonna go right down here. And then your long Allen bolt is right here. You do need to apply some blue Loctite to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of set that guy there. And this is just for the last one. So what I did is I installed this bolt. These guys are both tightened down, ready to go, Loctited. So we're gonna put this here with the swoop going towards the top side of the seat. This, kind of close it in here. Just gonna kind of force it over a little bit. These seats seem to have some issues with trying to line up a little bit. My other seat went together a bit easier than this one. I don't really know why that is. All right, we're gonna try this again. Did a little bit of modification just to make things a little bit easier on me. Put this slider on, or this adjuster on, the hoop. There we go. Got it in there. You kind of have to fight a little bit, it seems. But once it's in, you can definitely tell, obviously. Alright, since I already Loctited this, I'm just going to lock her down. Crank. Good. And I'm going to slide this guy all the way forward so I can get to right here, where I also already Loctited this guy. And just tighten it down. And I'll just double check these. Okay, so now next step is going to be to slide these back a little ways and then pick where the starting point is going to be for, actually let's do the fronts first. These just forward enough so that way they're matched, just like that. Give them a little taps just to make sure. Once this is all lined up here, take your bolts like so. Toss them through here if you would like. Looks like I kind of adjusted this wrong, so I'm not going to do that this time. And then for me, on these mounts, it's the center one for both, where the bolts have to go. So center here, center here, center, center. Those are lined up right. Go. Take this, that guy from there. This guy. This little lock nut. Oops. Please don't go on the seat. I had to modify an Allen wrench just to get it to fit. But what I do is I put this guy under here. Like so. This is a 13mm wrench. I'm not going to tighten these all the way down just so I can get the rears aligned. I just want to get it most of the way. Alright, I'm going to go through in kind of the same fashion, get all of these installed, and then we'll put them in the car. So as I'm editing this video, I realized I completely forgot to ever include footage, images, anything of the seats actually in the car. So I'm back over today. So this is weeks later after that video was filmed, and the video coming out next week is going to explain what the delays have been, and they have not been fun. I want to say it's probably been like 3 weeks since I put these seats in, with the expectation of just like doing little things here and there, then I'll get the engine back. Not the case. Also, the other thing I noticed is I said specifically, no more fans. I'm just going to suffer in the heat. And then almost every single clip after that had a fan in it, so we're better now. It's cooling off, we're good. But I'll show you the seats. So here are the seats in the car. They look really, really nice. They feel great. However, the one thing I really do not like about them is the way they're positioned with these brackets is very SUV-like. Like you feel like you're driving either a minivan or like, I don't know, my wife's RAV4 has a better seat angle than these do. So I have two ideas on how I could correct this, because I am fixing it no matter what. I just don't know which route I want to go. Option one is going to be these little spacers that they provide. These are off the driver's seat because I ended up removing them. Had to modify the bracket for the sliders, the little like pull bracket. I guess we'll call it the U-bracket. I had to modify the U-bracket to make it even work. Even then, it barely works between the adapter plate and the seat itself. Like there's just barely enough room to kind of make it work. That was after bending it for probably a good 45 minutes. So I mean, that's one option. But what I'm kind of thinking is maybe I might machine these down and put them at an angle. The front ones being like virtually nothing, like just kind of angle them back. And then the back ones just being at a slant. So that way I can put the bolts through it and then they will be at a perfect angle, leaving the seat like this versus like this, either here or here, which is where it's at now. But I'll show you the seats and maybe I can show you the mounting and the height difference on them. The sliders are mounted directly to the mounting bracket, which is fine. And then they're mounted to the seat, but these spacers here make it to where you feel like you're basically just in the ceiling. And I don't know if I can show it. I don't know if I can show it very well on camera, but it might be one of those things you might just kind of have to trust what I'm saying. I'll kind of show in the driver's seat if I can. So you can kind of see, I'm sitting in here right now, obviously. I have about this much space, so about 4 fingers worth of space above the noggin, which is fine. But the positioning just feels so tall, and I'm not pushing the clutch because I don't want to ruin the master cylinder, but it just feels a little awkward. I mean, it's not too bad. I don't dislike it as much as I did when I had the spacers in there. When I had the spacers in there, I didn't even like these seats much at all. I'm thinking a later task I'm going to do is going to be either finding a way to put these at an angle with the spacers provided in like the current mounting setup, or I'm going to make my own brackets, kind of like how STM has the ones for the OEM seats. I might order those and see if they fit. I don't think they will, but if they do, that would save me a lot of work. But they're like, I think $200. I don't mind spending the $200, but with everything else going on in this car, I just don't really want to at the moment. So I mean, it's not a huge deal, but I do wish they felt better. And yeah, so either I'm going to fabricate some brackets to replace these big ones, and if that works, great, I'll sell these. Structural support's the big concern for me there. And then the other option would be just basically to leave the setup as is, but remove the spacers and machine them down so they're at an angle. I don't know what the angle would be. It doesn't really need much, but you know, anything's better than where it's at currently. But yeah, I mean, overall, the seats are great. I think they look phenomenal. They look OEM plus, which is what I was going for. I like the Bride, but it was very crusty. I ended up selling it to some dude on Marketplace for his Honda Fit. I had it originally listed for a driving sim, but I believe it's getting used. But overall, for what this car is to me and like what my plans are for it, the Bride just didn't fit. Because I just want this to be an OEM plus fun street car, and the Bride is more of a, time attack kind of deal, which is great. I mean, if you have one of those builds, more power to you. I do plan on doing one in the future, but for now, this car's not it. I appreciate you watching. Once again, for any time I haven't said it, any sort of interaction you can do with the channel, comment, like, subscribe, all those really help out with the growth of the channel, specifically subscriptions, because I have like 99%, I think, of my viewers are not subscribed, so I mean, it would really help out if you did. But for now, this is all I got. I got one video coming out next week, which is going to be headlight restoration, finally, and going over what's been going on with my engine. Just kind of talking for way too long, over explaining everything on my machine shop situation. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of content coming out until I get my engine back. I'm hoping maybe get a call today. Not really expecting it, maybe next week. Hopefully, because I can at the very least make like 4 videos out of that, which would be great. But appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video.